Molly stole my fidget spinner.
Do you want it back here?
Yeah. Kind of. No, I'm just
Take it back. You can keep it. No, because you're going to complain about it the whole time. Give me the shit one back.
Keep the fidget spinner.
Fine, be a martyr.
It's me making up to you.
Okay, is this how you repent?
Yeah, you get to keep the good
spinner. This means nothing to me.
I told you I tried to get the nerd gummies.
I have a question for the hosts.
Yeah.
What's up?
Would you eat a pizza for $20,000?
No.
No, absolutely not.
Are you kidding me? That's
how big is the pizza?
It's a medium from Domino's.
Absolutely not.
You can eat the whole thing, but you can do it as slow as you want for $20,000.
Can
I take breaks?
Yeah, you can take as many breaks as you want, and then if you do it, you get $20,000.
I'll do it.
Really?
Yeah.
You're fucking crazy.
That's too crazy.
That's why they call me
the tipsy terrorist.
That's nope.
What do they call you?
We can't say that.
They call you Crazy Harish.
Crazy Harish is what they call me.
To the Joker, that's just regular Harish.
Yeah.
Bell, refill Mr. Franklin's glass, will you?
Now, when you get up there tonight, don't drink too much. Oh, don't worry, I won't.
How about a whiskey and soda?
Less soda than usual, thanks.
And this is wine. To drink.
Just a sip might improve your humor. Aren't you drinking? I never drink.
No, I've had a couple. Come on, I'm not drunk.
And an excellent vintage it is, too. But if you're implying that I'm tipsy, sir...
Welcome to Tipsy Terrors. This is a podcast about horror movies.
And knitting sweaters during the entire movie if you want to.
Yeah. We should get mic stands so you can knit.
I was thinking that just now because I am
good.
looking at it and it is killing me that I can't work on my sweater right now.
I randomly saw a clip of like people sitting on a couch doing a podcast and they had mic stands and I was like, I want those.
We deserve to be able to use both hands to have two fidget spinners.
And if we did that, the podcast would get an upgrade.
An upgrade!
And that's the movie that we're watching today because we're continuing our theme of AI. Robo-Vember.
Once again, we are choosing a subgenre that is just bountiful in options. Yeah.
We should pick a. We gotta come up with a theme name now.
Robo-Vember.
Okay, nice.
Is there a better one? Can we think of a better one?
I was trying to do a pun on like No Nut November, but I couldn't think of it.
Oh yeah.
No. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll come up with it eventually. We'll come up with it in the last episode.
We will. I'll keep thinking about that day and night. That's my contribution to the pod.
There we go. That's a good contribution, actually.
Thank you.
But yeah,
upgrade.
Directed and written and directed by Lee Winnell.
Lee Winnell.
My dude.
I've heard it both ways.
Yes, the guy who did The Invisible Man.
Yes.
And
Saw. He wrote Saw.
He was in Saw, and he wrote it.
Yeah, honestly, he's got some bangers. He wrote Insidious. He's also in Insidious 1 and 2. I think he's in 3 too. I think he wrote 3 as well. I think he's written all of them. I don't know. He does. I'm not saying everything this guy puts out is great, though. If you look at his IMDb, you can tell he's got some stinkers.
He did The Invisible Man, which is one of my favorite.
Oh, absolutely. He is. Yeah, that's top-notch work right there.
That's S tier for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna come right out and say it. This one's pretty mid.
Mid.
It's got its highs and lows, and we'll get to it.
I really wasn't sure this was a horror movie.
I gotta be honest. That's the first thing I wanted to bring up is I don't know if I agree with the diagnosis of horror movie. I would call this a graphic novel.
Thriller.
Like this movie, I'm shocked if it's not. It's not based on anything, right?
No, I don't think so.
Because everything about this movie screams it's based on a graphic novel.
IMDb says action sci-fi thriller.
Yeah, I would not call this a horror. And I think the only reason people associate it with horror is one, there's like a couple of effects in it that are pretty gruesome. Mm-hmm. And but like that's totally normal in action movies and stuff too. And then also Lee Winnell is involved in it and he's mostly a horror guy. But This is a superhero movie. Like, going into this, Harish said it gets compared to Venom, and I was like, how the hell? Yeah, it's Venom. It's just Venom. It's Venom and Deadpool. Like, the Deadpool thing to me is like, the graphicness of it, but it's still like a superhero movie. Like, there were several also conversations where I was like, they're definitely going for that kind of like on the nose, like kind of humor.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I thought this was a horror movie, but IMDb says it's sci-fi action thriller, and Letterboxd says the same thing. But yeah, Upgrade, that's the movie we're doing.
Someone should have upgraded the script.
Yeah, this was not his best writing. The directing in it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I loved.
Yeah, like it was really well directed. And I know he's a good writer. This just wasn't his. Yeah, it was top-notch work.
Too cheesy, like the dialogue was just too cheesy.
When this movie started, I got really worried because I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna like this movie, because the first like 20 minutes of it, not good at all.
Yeah.
And
husband and wife call each other husband and wife,
and like, I don't know, every time they talked, it just was not natural in any way. Everything they did was weird.
All those little one-liners are stupid.
I didn't like the characters. But then like, once the AI thing switches on, I was oh wait, okay, I think I'm interested in this, and it got a lot better and stuff. But bad script, very bad script.
The plot is pretty good overall. Like, I mean, it's not the most original plot, but it's it's good.
It's fine.
I mean, it's entertaining. And the AI stuff is really cool.
And I think the coolest thing about this movie is the movement of the camera.
Yeah. It's like attached to him, right?
Yeah. So like, instead of like when he's walking, you're bouncing up and down, like he's like still, and it's very robotic feeling.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, when you're walking, how you see the world move, like you're basically watching that. It's really cool.
It's like a motion track on him, basically.
Yeah.
Do you know how they did that? My cousin told me, I don't remember.
I read it on... Oh, yeah, okay, I got it. On IMDb, it says, during the fight scenes, the camera often tracks Gray, so he remains in the middle of the frame. According to director Lee Wannell, this was achieved by hiding a phone somewhere on actor Logan Marshall Green, which the camera could then pair to and follow with as much accuracy as possible.
Whoa, it's literally technology.
They got an upgraded camera.
That's really
an
cool.
Upgrade.
Because I thought they probably had to just like rig something up and very slowly do the choreography and like speed it up.
Yeah.
Because it is very sharp in its motion. So like, that's just the fluidity, I would think. But that's like cool that they could sync something like that.
Yeah, it's very, very cool watching it in the movie, especially the action scenes.
Yeah. You first get a taste of it shortly after the AI hasn't like announced itself yet, but he walks and you get a feel of like how it like feels when he's walking. And then like the first fight scene, it's so cool. Like he doesn't move like a human, and it's just neat. He moves like how an AI would be able to predict stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
He like bounces off the floor.
Yeah. Apparently stem is the Dutch word for voice, and the AI only talks through a voice.
Oh.
It only presents itself as a voice.
Oh yeah, we never see like a humanoid.
Yeah, we never see a
version.
picture. Like, it could have done a like simulation in his head of what it looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a voice. So did you have a letterbox segment?
I forgot.
That's
so I'm
fine.
pulling a few now.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
We can just get into it, and I can cut in when I have enough.
Okay. Yeah, so the plot is basically there's this guy, his name is Gray Trace. And
the naming in this is very like the choices. I was like, okay, those were names, but
he's just a guy who sits at home and fixes his car for some reason.
I don't know what his deal was.
Yeah, he fixes his car. That's his job.
He's got a wife
He's
or
got
something.
a wife, and they have like a little argument about he doesn't know what she does, and she's like, fixing cars is not a job. Sitting at home and fixing cars is not a job. And they call each other husband and wife.
Yeah, all this is through dialogue that just does not feel natural at all.
Anyway, they go to visit this dude's Gray's best friend named Aaron. Aaron
spelled
Keene.
ERRON or something like that.
Yeah, ERON.
ERON.
Shut the fuck up. I hate that.
And he's a really rich guy. He has a house that's underground at the beach.
He looks like a 12-year-old punk.
And he, when they walk into his house, he is like touching a cloud. Like a cloud is in his room with
showing
him.
you
It's
how
very
sci-fi
weird.
and futuristic
And
the
they're
guy
like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, it's my cloud. But yeah, Aaron Keene. He's the CEO of Vessel Computers. Kind of Oscar Isaac character.
Yeah, I guess in terms
Oscar
of
Isaac type.
like the genius.
He is his own.
Compared to Ex Machina.
He's his own modern Prometheus.
Yeah, in some ways he could be considered a modern Prometheus.
It just feels like Harish himself doesn't believe it, but
also his company is called Vessel Computers.
Ooh,
yeah, okay.
They sound like they're good.
But we find out that the wife, whose name I did not write down,
Katie or something like that.
Asha.
Yeah, why did I think
Asha.
Katie?
Yeah.
Who's Katie?
I want it on the record. I barely watched this movie. I watched this movie the least out of anyone in the room, and there was like 6 of us. And I got that.
Yep, Asha. She works for Cobalt is the name of the company.
I remember they make
robotic limbs
for veterans or something.
Yeah. So,
and she's like a fan of this Aaron guy.
Yeah, and she's like, "Yo, yeah, we're doing well. We're almost like getting the AI correct or something like that." She says, and he's like,
"No, you're not."
Well, you're not.
And
then he goes and shows off his new chip, his fancy chip, STEM, an AI who's, I don't know, he just like super powerful AI, and Gray is like, I don't care. So we cut to them driving back home in their self-driving car. So since the car's self-driving, they can have sex. The wife just
is like, oh yeah, we should have sex now.
I'm horny, let's have sex.
Very odd scene, but then it doesn't last very long.
But then Gray at one point realizes that the car is not driving them home. And they're like, what the fuck? This is my old neighborhood. And the car says something. The car has an auto drive error. And they try to stop the car, but it doesn't work. They can't do anything. And the car drives into this neighborhood and flips over.
And then these people attack them.
Yeah. The car calls emergency services. And then these people show up and open the door and like cut them out. Also Gray like hit his head on the windshield, but managed to put a seatbelt on Asha before, so she's fine. But they get them both out, and this dude, they're all wearing masks, and this dude like he shoot Asha first?
Well, he pulls his mask down. I don't know why, but they're like talking, and then like I don't know, something happens, and he shoots her.
Yeah.
And then Gray watches her die.
Yeah, and also he does something to paralyze Gray. He like cuts.
He gets shot in the spinal cord.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was supposed to get shot directly in the spinal cord. Yeah.
Right.
I have a letterbox segment.
Nice.
So while Gray is passed out in the hospital, let's take a quick break. Oh, this thing fucking honks.
3 stars.
4 stars.
4 stars. Nice job, Sam.
Boom.
Just watch Ex Machina instead.
2.
2.5.
Half a star.
Half. Ooh.
I badly need stem for my posture. I wrote that. No, I didn't, but
3 stars.
2.
3. All it took was that camera to go tilty tilt for y'all to lose your damn minds. Next.
2.5.
1.
2. Imagine if Ratatouille was all neon and Remy went full on John Wick mode and picked some sexy mechanic version of Linguini.
3.5.
4.
3.5. Nice job.
Nice.
This happened to my buddy Eddie.
See?
4.
Venom.
Venom.
3.5.
4. Nice job.
Damn it, Harish.
Heavily inspired by the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. No, I will not elaborate.
2.5.
3.
3.5.
Damn.
You know this is set in the future because he sneezed on someone and they died.
3.
2.5.
4 stars. I'm starting to think that this AI thing is a bad idea.
4.
3.5.
1.5.
Damn.
More like downgrade.
2.
Half.
1 star. This isn't I don't care about the number on this review. God So Good. Can we get a Lee directed Mortal Kombat?
Ooh.
And I would like to see it.
He's capable.
4.
4.
Oh, it's 4.5. I didn't pull that one for the review. I just want to talk about how I like Mortal Kombat. I'll read another review. I'm not going to read the whole thing though. RoboCop.
Oh my god.
It goes on.
Oh my god.
I am scrolling and then it's got to be at least like 300
Yeah,
RoboCops.
that's a lot of RoboCops.
Yeah.
It says this movie shares a lot of similarities to the 1987 action film RoboCop, directed by Paul Verhoeven. But they wrote RoboCop like a billion times, and
Yeah.
who has that? Why would you do that? Anyways, that's all I got.
I've never seen RoboCop, but I believe the comparison because I think this is kind of what RoboCop is like.
RoboCop's just like that.
Also have a dead wife.
I don't know if he also has a dead wife, but he's like a guy who gets upgraded.
So
This guy gets fucking upgraded.
we wake up, or what's his name?
Gray?
Gray. Stupid name, okay. Gray Trace. Stupid name.
Trace Gray would have been a better name.
That's one of the worst names I've heard in all of movies. Like, no, that's not real. That's a movie name.
Yeah. So Gray wakes up in the hospital. He's freaking paralyzed. His wife is dead. He has nothing to live for. He gets a fancy... His kitchen gets upgraded. He gets a fancy...
a thing that hands him stuff.
Yeah, a fancy hand robot that can make drinks for him and give him his medicine. But yeah, he's really sad about his wife. And at one point he gets the PM medicine from the robot, and he's like, "Give me more," or he's like, "Give me the PM medicine you forgot." Or
He does it like
that.
4 times, and then the computer's like, I can't give you anymore.
It's a lethal dose.
And he's like, no, you messed it up.
And then, so wakes up in the hospital again, and he's like, "This sucks." So,
And then Aaron shows up.
Yeah, Aaron shows up, and Aaron's like, "Hey, computers can't save your wife, but they might be able to save you."
What?
Yeah, and Aaron, the guy Gray's like, "I don't care," but Aaron's like, "What would she want?" And so we cut to basically Aaron had explained that he can do something to help Gray, but it had to be a surgery. It had to be in secret, and Gray was not allowed to tell anyone. He still had to pretend to be paralyzed. And basically he's testing this new AI, his STEM AI. He installs it, like, we cut to the surgery. It gets installed, like, on Gray's spinal cord. And then we cut to, like, the after the surgery, they're, like, trying to test it out, and they're like, okay, it should be online. Try moving your feet. And nothing happens, but then he starts moving his fingers, and he moves his hand up, and then he moves his other hand, and yeah, he can move.
And then he walks. He just, like, it's a really long, drawn-out sequence of him moving. So it worked. It's just a miracle thing.
And he's like, finally, I can find out who killed my wife. And there's also some detective subplot.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
We skipped a scene. He's working with the cops to try to find the killers, and he goes to a meeting with the cop, and she's like, we can't do anything even though we have police drones that record everything all around the city. Apparently crooks can like build firewalls that will stop our drones from identifying them and hide their faces.
Incredible work.
Yeah, so we have all this tech surveillance, and it's absolutely pointless because anyone who's doing evil can block it. So yeah, that's why it's great to have cops. But yeah, so they can't do anything. But he gets the surgery, and then he goes back home, and he's walking, and he suddenly hears a voice say, "Can I suggest something?"
And then he does that classic freak out of like, whoa, is somebody talking to me? And then, like, it talks to him again.
Yep. May I point something out, is what it says. And he's like, what? And it's the voice of Stem. Stem can talk to him in his mind. But Stem also explains that, like, it can only register when, like, it can't read his mind. It can only register his speech. So he has to talk out loud when he's talking to Stem.
Which is
so,
like, okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So Stem...
Oh!
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Before we get too far into this movie, I was thinking about something from our last discussion.
Yeah.
It was the thought experiment, does a robot know Chinese if it can...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually want to say my answer, like, I don't think it does unless it can initiate conversation.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can respond to anything, but, like, I think true consciousness requires, like, a level of initiation.
And being able to control it and change the topic and things like that.
Not just some kind of, like, reacting to stimuli, because we're all doing that, but everything with consciousnness has the ability to initiate.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's been on my mind a lot recently. I didn't want to forget.
And this AI can.
It does. It is the thing that initiates.
Yeah. It has goals.
It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour. Put in the work. Put in the hours and take what's ours.
New cut. Every time there's a fight scene, that just cues right in. That's the soundtrack for this movie.
Venom. Get me out. It would be a real upgrade if I was off the pod.
So
yeah, so Stem's idea is that if you look at the surveillance footage, he notices that the guy does not have a gun. He shoots him with a gun that's implanted in his arm, in his hand.
Oh yeah, they pull up footage and Stem points it out and shows him.
Yeah, and also Stem enhances the footage and finds the guy's tattoo.
Image enhance.
Yeah.
Image enhance.
And then controls the guy's arm, Gray's arm, to draw the tattoo. And then Stem searches the internet and finds that tattoo and finds all the information about that guy.
Exactly the guy. Yep, this is what happens when tech has gone too far.
Have I told you my ultimate heist plan?
No.
I would look up famous criminals that had prominent tattoos.
Yeah.
And you would...
I would dress as them and get the tattoos,
Yeah.
like, temporarily that look like their tattoos.
That's smart.
Yeah.
And then they'll get blamed for it.
Also,
Genius.
for legal reasons, I have never once thought about a heist.
Yeah.
Just
This is a
making that
parody.
clear.
This-
This is a joke.
Everything on here is fake. It's a parody for entertainment purposes only. And anyway, so Stem found the guy. He's like, he lives at this address. Let's go take him out.
So they do.
They do. They go to the guy's house and they look around. They look at his table to look at his messages because it's the future and
There's
this dude has a
technology.
smart coffee table
That sucks.
where you can see
That
your
sucks
messages.
so fucking much.
In what world would that be the convenient way to do anything?
I mean, smart coffee tables are real.
I know. Why would you need? Why do you need it? Like,
I
what does
don't
it do
know.
for you?
Give me that.
Give me that.
You can check your. You don't. You don't have to have an iPad. You just sit at your couch and look at your table
And look down.
That's like one of the bleakest things I've ever heard, actually.
You have to have something waist height for that to be a comfortable thing to use. Because if you're sitting, you have to like strain to reach. So you need to be standing for full range of motion. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible idea.
I could go lower.
So that the guy shows up and then they fight.
Yeah,
And
but then
then-
first, he reads all the messages and Sam's like, I counted 36 mentions of old bones. What's old bones?
And he's
And
like,
he's
oh,
like,
it's
"Oh,
a
it's a
bar
bar."
where I'm from.
Yeah, and then the guy shows up.
And so then they get in a fight, and it's really well choreographed and fun. And
Right.
the directing is really, the camera motion's really cool. It's one of those moments.
Well, so first, like they're fighting, and then the guy just like beats up this dude Gray, and then at one point Stem's like, I can help you.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and he's like, help me then. And Stem's like, I need permission, and he says, permission granted. And then Stem
And
takes
Stem
over his body,
beats that guy's ass.
yeah, and this is when the camera gets like motion tracked to his body, and he's like a super martial arts.
He's just very
master
precise. He knows exactly where stuff's landing
and
and where
dodging
to.
everything perfectly. Also, like at some points, his hands move his head.
Yeah.
Because Stem can only control like below his head.
Yeah. So they go about that for a while, and then he eventually gets the guy, and I don't know what he uses. Is it a knife?
It's a knife.
Yeah, he uses a knife, and he literally like severs the guy's like jaw off, like goes in from the mouth and like almost decapitates him. Honestly, that's because right before that happened was the moment where I was like, I don't think this is a horror movie. And then that part happened, and I was like, oh shit, maybe we are in for like horror, because it was pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say that was the like most horror part of the movie. Like there wasn't really much else to it.
Pretty much. Also, there's a fun part where the dude grabs a knife, and then Gray's like, Stem, he's got a knife, and Stem's like, I can see that, and then goes and grabs a knife, and he's like, we have a knife too.
And then he stabs him with it. Yeah. It was a fun little bit. So yeah, he kills that guy, and then Gray starts freaking out, and Stem gives him his control of his body back, and he's like, hey, you need to clean up this crime scene and get all of your germs off. And like Gray like pukes in the
All of
sink, and he
your
has to
fingerprints,
and he has to clean up all the throw up and like all the fingerprints and everything at the
And
crime
he's like,
scene.
but I don't remember all the things I touched. And Stem's like, I have
do.
a record of every single thing that you touched. So yeah, so they go back, cut to the autopsy of the dead guy, and the cops find out that he had a freaking gun in his hand.
He's crazy design.
He has-
21 Pilots song.
Oh my god.
He's like,
Can't I live without thinking about all that?
he's upgraded all over. He's got like metal in his spine. He's got wires.
He's hooked up.
This
Yeah.
guy's upgraded.
And also, we find out that it's Cobalt's technology.
Whoa.
Wait, isn't that... Yeah,
Where
yes,
the
it is.
GF
It's
works?
the freaking girlfriend or wife, not GF, wife.
But I thought the old lady dropped it into the ocean in the end.
Well, baby.
Well,
I went down and got it for you.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Oops. All right, go ahead.
Sorry. I'm sorry for derailing.
anyway, Aaron, Gray goes back to Aaron for like a checkup, you know, because they're testing out the AI, right? They got to do like checks every once in a while. Aaron's like, dude, I am tracking the chip. I know where you went. What the fuck are you doing?
Don't commit crimes.
Don't do this. You're supposed to keep it a secret, dude. And Gray, I do not know why I literally cannot remember his name. It's because it's so
a dumb
stupid.
name. Sorry to the Grays out there.
Gray.
I think Gray's a fine name. It's like I will forget it for the context of this movie.
Yeah. It makes no sense. I don't know. It just doesn't fit the guy. Gray. So Gray's like, well, you didn't tell me that he would freaking talk to me. And they're
That
like
part was
way
so wacky
overacting
and
this.
animated.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it
Again,
is over.
Like that's right after all that action and then into that stuff again is like it's very graphic novel-y. It's very much like animated and like very like the expressions and also just the design of Aaron is like no person looks like that outside of like comic books.
Even Aaron's yelling.
Yeah.
He's like, how dare you take my property?
Yeah, it's just a very weird.
Yeah, and he's like, don't do that again.
But
also, while this is happening, it's intercut with the cop like investigating the crime, and like she's on her computer and looking up stuff, and she looks up drone footage and sees that his car was over there in the area, and she's like, add suspect, Gray Trace.
And then there's 0% match that Gray had anything to do with anything down there.
Yeah.
Are you good?
I can't stop repeating that phrase. Give me that.
Give me that.
It's sending me into just my brain's fucking melting.
The amount of times that's been said in the last like 3 hours.
Give me that.
Give me that.
I have so much happening in my brain right now. None of it is related to what we're talking about.
It's okay. We'll make it through. So, what was Gray doing?
So then the cop goes to Gray's house. So then the cop shows up at Gray's house and she's like, hey, you want to sell me your car?
He's like,
you don't need it anymore.
And
he's
they have,
like, no.
Yeah, he's like jokes about like, why would you think I would need it? Like, of course I don't, you know.
And Stem is like, she's looking at your boot. You left a boot print.
Yeah, he's like chatting him through it. He's like, don't show you're lying. Look at her. Yada yada yada.
And she's like, so this guy, I did find out that one of the guys who was involved in your wife's murder, and he's also been murdered.
Ooh.
And
there's simply no way it could have been this guy, right?
And Gray kind of points that out. He's like, all right, there's no way you're accusing me of this, right?
Gray's
and she's like, of course
I
not.
I have the perfect alibi.
Yeah. And so she moves on. She's like, all right, whatever.
Right.
Don't believe you.
Call me back if you change your mind on your car. And then she leaves. And Gray's like, okay, so what's the plan now, Stem? And Stem's like, let's fucking go to Old Bones.
And find anybody else.
Yeah.
If you want to know where my brain's at, when you were saying that, I honest to God thought you were going to say, let's fucking go to Applebee's.
Not opposed.
No.
Not many options there.
Old Bones is kind of an Applebee's in a way.
I don't know if it is.
It's like if Applebee's wasn't at all like Applebee's and was different.
It was a scary bar.
It's your classic crime bar. Bar for criminals.
Yep.
This is one Patty's Pub.
So
but also Stem is like, if you go to Old Bones, Aaron will probably shut me down. So just be aware of that. So he goes to Old Bones.
Okay, bet.
Gray goes to Old Bones.
He's like in his wheelchair.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
And he like picks
goes up to the bar.
He's like doing a little act and stuff, getting some people's
Gets a
attention.
drink.
And he picks a fight with a guy.
Well, he's like, he gets the attention of the entire bar, and he's like, hey, everyone, listen to me.
Everyone's
you
like,
guys
"Get a load of
know?
this guy."
Do you guys know Sek? What is the guy's name?
The chances of me remembering that are about 2%.
I am only thinking of the interrogation scene from Shrek with Lord Farquaad and the gingerbread man. The Muffin Man. I used to have, like when I was a kid and I had a high pitched voice. I could do that fucking flawlessly,
really?
dude. I lost it. This is what I lost in the fire.
Oh,
The Muffin Man.
the Muffin Man. Oh, great line delivery.
But I could only do the Shrek Christmas special lines.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and the prettiest sight.
Did you watch just that?
Yeah, I watched it a lot.
I've never seen that.
Oh my god,
I've seen it.
My brain needs an upgrade.
Speaking of,
I'm not
Speaking
doing
of
good.
upgrade, the guy's name is Cirque, which is
What is
close to Shrek.
what is with the naming?
It's all connected.
Yeah, Cirque.
Cirque?
Yep. And then so Cirque, he's like, anyone know Cirque? And they're like, one guy starts, everyone laughs, and then one guy.
What's the guy's name? Tolan or something like
yeah,
that?
he says his name later. He says his name is Tolan, but
What
one
the
guy's
fuck?
like, yeah, you don't go looking for Cirque. And then like Gray says something about like cutting his throat or something. I nearly sliced his head off.
Yeah.
And so Tolan takes him
To the bathroom.
wheels him into the bathroom,
To pick on him.
brings a bunch of guys, and then they like talk, and then Tolan, like the guy starts to attack him, like he stabs him to test out like whether he can actually feel, which is pretty just like hard to watch.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
But
just stabs his leg and then like stabs his
Stem turns off
stomach.
Gray's like ability to feel anything.
Yeah. And then he like goes to his head, or his neck, and then he's like, so you can feel there. But then Gray tells Stem to take over, and freaking another awesome action scene.
He annihilates these guys.
Everyone gets beaten up, and he like he's on top. He like knocks down Tolan, and he's on top of Tolan, and he's like, "Who are you? What's your name? Who's your boss?" And Stem is like, you gotta like, you know what to do. Gives him a knife. And he's like, I can't do it. And Stem's like, I'll do it.
and so he gives Stem control, and Stem like kills the guy.
Well, he
like
cuts him
tortures
a
him.
bunch.
Yeah.
He cuts his face up, and he's like, "Yep." Gray's like, "That's enough, Stem," and Stem like keeps going, and he's like, "That's enough," and then Stem like still goes for like a second, then he stops, and then Stem's like, "Oh, now he'll tell you anything you want." So,
And this guy sings like a freaking canary.
yeah, he's like, my boss is Fisk. You were just a job. We just got hired. Yeah.
He also says that he saw Goody Proctor in the woods dancing with the devil.
Yeah.
And also that killing the girl was just like bonus. Like, right?
No,
that's a
later.
later guy.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But yeah, Fisk is his boss, and then he's like, who the fuck is Fisk? And also he sees the Cobalt logo on this guy's like cybernetics. And Stem's like, oh, Aaron's trying to shut me down. You gotta go to a hacker and reboot my operating system. So here's the address of one. And then like Gray repeats the address out loud. And then he's like, Stem's like, okay, we gotta go now. Then they like kill the guy and then they leave. And then he walks out, leaves the wheelchair, and then Stem takes over his body and runs.
He runs, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's the most efficient way to get there.
Yeah, so they get there, he like, the whole thing happens, like Stem starts getting shut down, so like he starts losing control of his body, and he finally like collapses outside of the apartment of the
Oh, and
hacker.
as he had taken a marker and like written all the instructions from STEM on his arm.
Yeah, a bunch of code.
Yeah.
On his arm.
For the hacker.
Yeah. And the hacker is named Jamie. He knocks on the door and shows the cash. Jamie walks out. And Jamie takes the money and she's like, paper money, how old school.
Oh yeah, because it's all techie.
So also at the same time, Fisk shows up and is investigating the scene of the where Tolan got killed, where the bar, right? And then he like a needle comes out of his finger and he like pokes it in the guy's eye. It basically downloads the data from like because his eye was actually a camera that was recording, and then so he gets the address because Gray repeated it out loud.
Dumbass.
So they go, and so Jamie starts doing the code. Also, STEM said you should tell Jamie to remove the input guards. And so
Jamie does that.
Jamie removes the input guards, and then they see on the like video cameras that the guys are coming up, the Fisk and his other guy.
So Jamie's like, bye.
Bye, and then leaves Gray while STEM is still rebooting. We skipped a scene where Fisk kills the bartender by breathing out nanoparticles.
Oh my god!
Or he sneezes and shoots out nano
They go up into the bartender's nose and I guess obliterate his brain or something.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty sick.
It's great.
It's so random.
These guys are pretty upgraded.
They're the upgrading is top notch.
Yeah, this movie wasn't lying when it said it was about an upgrade.
Oh yeah. So they finally get to Gray, and then Gray's like, STEM, are you there? And STEM's like, it's good to be back, Gray. And then takes over and fucking escapes. So runs out of there and shows up at home, and his mom is there.
And he has to explain to her what happened and how she can't say anything to anybody.
Yeah, his mom like sees that he can actually walk. He's not paralyzed anymore. But anyway, also at one point he's like sleeping, and then he wakes up, and then he sees his wife right next to him, and he's like, she's like, I printed a pizza, and she's eating a slice of pizza, and then he wakes up, and then it was just a hallucination.
But it felt so real.
Didn't he like kind of feel her on his arm? Too?
Yeah. She like grabs his arm.
The cop shows up, and she is like, we found your wheelchair in your crime scene, and she sneaks something in his jacket pocket that's on the chair that she's sitting on. And he's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about, and there's no way I could have done it. So also, yeah, he makes up some story about how he like got captured by a guy. And
he was getting bullied, basically.
Yeah, and then like some nice people like got a taxi for him or something.
You know what she's from?
What?
She's from Unfriended Dark Web.
Yeah, she is. And she's also, I looked it up, the franchise I was thinking about that she's in is Purge. The Purge.
Yeah.
She's in one of the Purge movies.
But yeah, so she leaves, and then Gray freaks out. He's like, STEM, oh, we're done. We can't do this anymore. And STEM's like, nope, we're finishing this.
Can we get a quick comment from one of our movie watchers?
Yeah.
Sure.
Would you like to give a quick thought about the movie Upgrade?
A lot of people got upgraded.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
As we've said, lots of upgrades.
That was Archie's cousin Josh.
Yep.
No known last name. Very good.
Yeah, and speaking of the upgraded people, suddenly Gray like stops moving and falls back, and he's like, Stem, what the fuck? Why can't I move? And Stem's like, I'm not doing anything.
Stem gets sassy.
Stem's like, I guess I'm going on strike, bitch.
He basically tells him, he's like, you're nothing. I control you.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah. So we're killing these guys. Let's go. And then they go. And then meanwhile, the lady's listening. The cop is listening.
But then while they're driving,
On the
he
bug.
realizes that the bug's in there and he throws it out.
Well, he finds it in his
analog.
pocket.
Oh, yeah.
It's analog, so Stem couldn't detect it because Stem can only detect electronics.
Fair enough.
Yep.
So they're
Smart
driving, and the cop is following them. They throw out the bug, and there's this whole car chase scene. And then Sam's like, "Oh, I can help," and takes control of one of the like automated, like self-driving cars that's nearby, also on the road.
He crashes it into the cop.
Yeah. And then so the cop is left behind, and they escape, and then they go and find Fisk. And they have this whole standoff, and Fisk talks about how he was in the military and he got upgraded, and he explains, the job was actually to sever your spine. You were the job. The wife was just an extra credit.
It's like that scene in The Sixth Sense.
Yep.
He was the job the whole time.
Yep.
He also says that it wasn't like a bullet that shot him. It was like nanotechnology that severs his spine.
To sever his spine, yeah.
Because it's revealed
that was the job.
Or no, that was just the job that's happened. Yeah, never mind.
That's all we know right now. So then they have...
This plot twist is about to get an upgrade.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So we have a whole fight scene where Stem fights the guy, but the guy, since he's also upgraded, also the guy mentions, I gave you a gift. You've joined us, the upgraded.
And so then they fight, but the guy is, since he's upgraded as well...
He can predict Stem's moves.
So
Stem's
there's no fighting.
Wow, I can't, I don't have anything to do.
It's just choreography.
I can't do anything. And then Stem's like, a little help here, Gray? And Gray is like, hey, your brother was the guy I killed the other day, right? Yeah, he sucked. He was a piece of shit. He was a coward. Just insults his brother to taunt the guy, and the guy's like, the guy gets mad and lifts him and throws him, and then Stem takes over and makes the guy land on some glass or something, and kills the guy, kills Fisk. And Fisk earlier told him not to be emotional, and Gray made Fisk emotional.
It was Chekhov's emotion the whole time.
Wow.
Chekhov's emotion. So Stem is like, okay, it's not over. We gotta check his phone. So Greg grabs his earpiece out of Fisk's ear and listens to it, and there's a voice message.
You'll never guess from who.
No. And Gray goes to Aaron's house, and he goes and just kills 2 security guards.
Classic.
Without even looking. And then he walks into Aaron's house. And he's like, you did it. You hired them. I know you did it. I heard your voice. And Aaron's like, actually, it was Stem.
I was working for Stem.
I was working
and
for
the plot
Stem the whole
twist gets
time.
upgraded again.
Yep.
Stem chose you, basically.
Stem wanted a human body, so it chose you, and it made me kill your wife. It told me what to do. It told me to, there's a flash of the hospital scene where Stem is like, tell him what was his wife do? What was his wife want? And what's his name? Aaron repeats that. But yeah, it was Stem the whole time, and we find out this is actually a modern Prometheus. It's a case of a Frankenstein. The creation has become too powerful. Just like in Ex Machina, it's the same movie.
So,
Stem did everything.
Yeah. And then
Gray is like, you did everything, so you've been leading me to you. But then the cop shows up, and she's like, stop, throw away the gun, get down, and then goes to like handcuff him, but then Stem like flips him over.
Ooh, I had a point. It's like they do that flashback style stuff where it's like very usual suspects where Gray realizes all the times that Stem was like tricking him.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Fair enough.
Right.
And when you go back and watch this movie for a second time,
you're gonna
like,
know.
Oh my god.
You're gonna be like, oh shit, he's listening to Stem right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's like, never mind.
The second time you watch this movie, you're watching it as Stem.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so the cop shows up and like they kill the cop, whatever. Well,
he doesn't want to kill the cop. He fights
doesn't want to kill the cop. He fights Stem, and Stem's like,
also, I think
you
he's
can't
killed
fight
Aaron
me.
by now.
Yeah. I think he kills Aaron, and then
the
he
cop
goes to kill the cop,
Yeah.
and the cop, he's like, you can't fight me. Your brain is too weak. It'll break. But then he goes to kill the cop and goes to shoot her, and he fights Stem, and then he wakes up in a hospital.
And his wife's there.
His wife shows up, and she's like, oh, we were in an accident, but we're both perfectly fine.
And they're happy.
And then cut to he's standing there with his gun pointed at the cop.
And his eyes are like black.
His eyes are black. I guess that's what happens when an AI takes over your brain. And the cop's like, Gray, you don't need to do this. And Gray is like, Gray's not here right now. It's freaking Stem. I took over the body. He's actually in a happier place in the freaking simulation. So see ya, and shoots
and
the cop.
Shoots her.
Yep, and then walks out, and that's the end of the movie.
He shoots the sheriff, but he doesn't shoot the deputy.
Ooh.
Nope.
This episode really is a return to form. I feel like for our podcast, where I've contributed nothing except for weird bits that vaguely correlate, and Harish fucking carries. Sam, I'm gonna be honest. You also carried.
I don't know. I'm trying.
And that's the movie.
Upgrade.
And I saw it.
Yep.
And you did
too. So should we do segments?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
What would you do?
I'd get upgraded because I suck.
Yeah, I would probably get. Wouldn't get a gun in my hand. Actually, maybe, I don't know. Might be useful. No, probably not. But I would get like a few upgrades.
I want to be able to know things.
I would get an upgrade that lets me do kung fu really well.
Yeah, for sure.
Or like fight really well. That would be awesome.
I don't know if I'd feel comfortable doing it.
Ooh,
yeah.
Can we get another comment from somebody else who watched the movie?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
You gotta say one thing.
I simply can't.
Say one thing. You got one thing.
Going into it, I expected at least one upgrade, but I was surprised that multiple people were upgraded before the end of the film.
That is true.
I like that all the guest comments have been about how many upgrades there are.
And that was our friend Ellie Guidry. Thank you, Ellie. And then do we have another person who watched the movie with us?
Just make a comment. If I were to be upgraded, I would get an upgrade so I could eat a pizza for $20,000.
A printed one?
You. And that was RG Barton, friend of the pod.
I printed a pizza.
I would love to have a pizza printer.
That would be, of all the upgrades, that's a good upgrade.
Yeah.
You wouldn't
I don't need an upgrade. I just need a pizza printer. Also, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know if I would trust it. I have a general distrust in that kind of thing. So, I don't think I'd go for it.
I don't think in seriousness, given what I believe about technology, that I would do this. But also, there's so much wrong with me that I want corrected.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
I really wish I wasn't like that.
I'm fine playing it in a video game, Cyberpunk 2077.
Nice.
But yeah, the movie's called Upgrade, but it should be called Upgrades because there's more than one.
Oh my god.
For real, like that's good.
Upgrades, yeah. STEM creates an army of STEMs. And then it's Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yo. And then there's the upgrades versus the non-upgrades.
Okay, who produced this movie? Let's go pitch. Let's go pitch to Lee Wannell right now.
One word for you, Lee Wannell. Upgrades.
Also, please tell us how to pronounce your name.
I'm sure we can find a video where he says it.
Probably, but that would require effort.
You see he's back on Twitter now?
Yeah, I've seen him.
I'm not even really back on Twitter.
He's back.
I've seen a little bit, maybe.
He joined to show off Halloween costumes, and he's just been active again.
Oh, sick. Okay.
It's been nice.
Good for him.
I don't remember what he was for Halloween. I remember it was a pretty good costume, though.
Maybe I'll upgrade to the Twitter app soon. I won't.
What's our next segment? Villain ranking?
I don't remember how to do this.
Oh, actor award. Acting award.
On this podcast, we give out an acting award to a very special actor. There are 3 tiers. There's the Jared Padalecki Acting Award for Excellence in Acting. We give that award to an actor in a movie we think is a good movie. They did a great job. The movie's good. Vastly, maybe a big part of the reason the movie's good is because an actor was good. We want to recognize them. Next tier down is the Mediocre Award. This is kind of for a movie that's a little bit mid. But you still want to recognize that an actor showed up and did a pretty good job. Third on the list is the Jensen Accolade for you tried your best in a shitty movie. Movie's not great, but you still want to recognize that an actor showed up and got a check. I gotta give it a Misha.
Yeah, it's getting a mediocre for me.
I think I'll give it a Jared.
I knew you would.
I'll give it a Jared. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to not Tom Hardy.
The main guy in this movie looks like so many guys.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I honest to God thought it was Tom Hardy going into this movie and for the first 15 minutes.
I see what you mean. I don't think he looks enough like it. He looks like Jai Courtney to me.
Logan Marshall Green.
And who was saying he looks like Jake Gyllenhaal?
Oh my god.
I think RG said that.
A little bit, yeah.
Hold the fucking phone. Oh my god. 1 minute. He plays a character in Across the Universe.
Who?
Paco.
Which one's Paco?
Not one I know.
But he's in Across the Universe.
But he's also in Devil.
Yeah, he's in Across the Universe.
Yeah, I guess he's in Devil. So this is our second movie with him. But yeah, he just looks like all these other guys.
He's also in The Invitation. Have you seen The Invitation?
No, not yet.
It's a good movie.
We should do that one for the pod.
He's the main guy.
Have I seen The Invitation? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, but I remember. So Phil Hay is the writer, and he's married to Karan Kusama, and I saw them both speak. Who directed the movie, and I saw them both speak at a Sundance talk.
Okay.
And they were talking about The Invitation and some of the work they did on that. Very cool.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'll give it to him. He had to do body movements.
Yeah.
There was one part where he essentially turned into a break dancer, and I was like, that's not easy to do.
I mean, I guess that's probably mostly stunt people doing that stuff.
No, there's a part where he's just looking at the camera moving his arm. You know, when there's those dancers that do those really robotic technical movements with their hand. He was kind of doing that.
Huh.
It wasn't as technical, but I was like, that's a lot of choreography he had to do there.
Yeah, he does even in the non-fight scenes, he does move like a robot.
Yeah, he does a lot of cool stuff with his body.
Yeah, I think I'll give it to him too.
Good job, guy.
Nice.
Proud of you.
You did good, kid.
Villain ranking.
What? Who's the villain in this?
Stem.
Oh yeah, I guess Stem is the.
Oof.
So
I can start. Or Harish, did you want to start?
Yeah, I so Stem is my number 13th. That's underneath Psycho Gorman and right above Jinko from Repo the Genetic Opera.
Any reason why?
I don't know. Stem's alright. I don't know. Not as cool as Ava. So, going much lower.
What year was this movie?
2018. Yeah, I got Stem at a cool dead last.
Really?
Wow.
Dead last?
I just don't care.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's valid.
I think it's fine. It's cool. I think the tech's cool. I thought the twist was neat. Actually, you know what? I think I watched a video about this movie before I watched it because I knew what happened at the end.
Oh.
So I kind of ruined it for myself. Maybe I would have liked it more if I didn't know going in. But yeah, like it's cool.
Yeah.
I just like there's like so many other movies and media that I've seen that have this like kind of basic premise that I enjoyed a little bit more or less, or I've just seen it enough that I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I have him, he's third from last for me, so like he's above Jinko and below the freaks from The Purge. Yeah, same sentiment. Like, I mean, like, he's fine. Yeah. I'm just like not obsessed with him. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with him. There's just nothing fun about him. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fine. He's fine.
He's okay.
Again, like he's not overwhelmingly threatening in the terms of like I don't think he's gonna come after me. You know, no reason to. That kind of thing.
Fair enough.
So, what are we rating it out of?
Upgrades.
How many upgrades?
Sure. Yeah, that works.
There are so many upgrades.
Should we list how many? Should we list other nouns from the movie? Self-driving cars, printed pizzas.
Printed pizzas.
That could be a good one, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm good with any of those.
I like the upgrades.
How many upgrades?
Yeah.
How many upgrades?
I can start. I'll give it 7 upgrades.
All right.
It was fine. It was a cool movie. I like action movies. I actually kind of want to go back. I think my problem, I wasn't really in the mood to watch a movie tonight.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of just like, the whole time we were watching it. I'd want to go back and watch it when I'm like really in the mood to watch like an action-y movie. Because the camera stuff was really, really cool. I just like couldn't really get all the way into it.
Yeah. I get that. I would give it like a 6. It's the direction's really, really good and it's a fun, cool concept, but it's nothing like groundbreaking, and also like this script is really bad. It really distracted me from the film. I also agree with your sentiment, Molly. It's not that I wasn't in the mood to watch a movie, it's just I kind of went in hoping for a movie that was scary and I wasn't getting it. If I knew it was an action movie, I probably would have looked at it with a different lens, because I mean I love action movies.
I agree. I think I'm gonna knock mine down to a 6.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean it's a good movie. It's just in terms of action movie, I've seen way better anyways.
Yeah. And I'd hella watch this again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 7. It was great. I thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought the direction was really good. The script was not great. But you know, it's whatever. It's just like, you know, it's a fun movie to watch once. Yeah. So 7.
If you asked me if you should watch it, I would probably say yes.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, like I'd be like, yeah, I mean, it's a good time.
So, recommendations.
Yo, I got a fuckload.
I have a couple.
You wanna
go? Sure. The main one I wanted to recommend was Transcendence. I think I brought it up on Ex Machina.
Yeah.
It's just it keeps coming to mind when it comes to AI stuff, because Transcendence is about an AI taking over the world and like succeeding basically, and I could see this guy succeeding in taking over the world if he wanted to. I wanted to recommend any of Alex Garland's work.
Nice.
It's just it's when you think tech horror, that's what he does. And also there was a lot of like nature shit in this one too, and I'm like, okay, Alex Garland, those are my main ones. I might have 1 or 2 more that come up in my mind, but I don't remember.
Oh, I got some good ones. My number 1 favorite rec for this one is, I love this movie, Guns Akimbo.
Oh yeah,
with Daniel Radcliffe.
Haven't seen it.
And Samara Weaving. Oh, for real?
No.
It's like actually, it's like silly. It's pretty solid though. I like it. Like non-ironically, I think it's a cool movie. I'm gonna say Lucy, starring Scarlett Johansson.
Fucking Lucy. Wow. Oh, that reminds me, Limitless.
Fuck you! Oh, yeah. Limitless was my next one.
No, I've actually never seen Limitless, but I thought about it multiple times. Or actually, Harish and I tried to watch Limitless, but I tuned out.
I've seen Limitless. It's kind of bad.
Yeah,
it's not very
great.
good. It's
mid. I love it.
What if you could use 100% of your brain?
Yeah.
Do you actually love Limitless?
I really like it. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. It wasn't my fave. Along that vein we were talking about earlier, the book Be More Chill, apparently it's also a musical now. That's all right. A guy who wrote It's Kind of a Funny Story wrote it. That's pretty cool. Ned Vizzini, R.I.P. to a real one. He's a good guy. Well, I don't know if he's a good guy. He's a good writer. I can't comment on his merit as a person.
Yeah.
Get me out.
I don't know.
Me neither. And then also John Wick.
Oh yeah, John Wick. That's good.
Thematically, you know, wanting to get revenge because your
wife's
wife's dead and your dog's gone. Except there's no dog in this movie, so who cares? And also just like really good stylized fight scenes. Next one, I'm gonna recommend the Black Mirror. Did we talk about what happened at the end with the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Black Mirror Men Against Fire episode. That's the one where they have like it's the soldiers and they have the tech and they're like implanted in their brains. And at the end, the technology just sends him to like a fantasy world that's like not real, and he's actually kind of in a shithole situation. So I thought that was cool. And the whole like upgrading soldiers aspect is like really fucked up.
Yeah. Do you have any?
I have one. It's called Bloodshot. It's
oh my god, yes. Harish loves Bloodshot.
I don't love it.
He loves it.
It's a Vin Diesel movie. It's basically a similar plot. Like his wife gets killed and
classic.
He like gets like injured or something, and so this guy gives him like nanotechnology in his blood and basically makes him a superhero, and he goes rogue and takes revenge. But wait till you hear the twist. And then, so watch
he killed
the
his
movie
wife.
to find out. No,
it's Memento.
No,
also, randomly,
it's a different twist from this movie, and it is. I mean, it's. I don't think I've seen that twist in other movies, really.
Also,
maybe.
Lamorne Morris is a British guy in that movie.
Yes, Lamorne.
And the whole time you're watching it, you're like, he's not British.
He's a hacker and he's British.
Who is that guy?
Winston from New Girl, and he's in Game Night. He's the guy whose wife slept with Denzel.
Nice.
I can't remember his name.
God.
Yeah, and Vin Diesel is the main guy.
Game Night's a perfect movie.
Yeah. And so it's basically he gets upgraded.
Yeah.
And there are other people who also have upgrades.
Get upgraded? Holy fuck.
Yeah. So it's pretty much the same movie, to be honest. But like with a different twist. The twist is different. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And that's it. That's all I had.
I wanted to ask, we didn't talk about this, but the end, how he kind of gets locked in that box in his mind.
Yeah.
Would you hate if that happened to you? Or would you like it? Because I would like it.
Nope.
Yeah, I would like it.
I would be completely fine.
Do you know something about me?
No.
I have like one of my main things, it's my main activity actually, is maladaptive daydreaming. Where I just make things up and like I'm in them for like hours, like while I'm awake.
Yeah.
Hours a day.
Yeah.
Hours and hours.
I've had days where I don't know if I'm quite that level, but like I've had days where I like snap out of it and I'm like, I shouldn't be doing that much.
Yeah. It's not a great thing, but I do like it because I'm not present in my own life.
Yeah. I can't really. I don't know if I'm like quite that thing, but yeah, I know what you're. Yeah.
I think that's the thing I do the most. That's my main activity.
I can like be doing stuff and I'm not focusing on what I'm doing. I'm real bad about it when I'm driving.
I'll tell you my top 3 scenarios when we're not on the pod because it's actually it's embarrassing. It's like I've lost, honest to God, probably like months and months of my life, like chronologically from like since I've been doing this when I was a kid to now.
Wow.
And I think it's an only child thing.
Oh, actually, that would make sense. Yeah. I was just because I was like, I don't know if this ending's necessarily sad. So
no, I'd fucking love that.
It was fine.
Yeah, I'd be fine.
Anyways, yeah,
Except
I was just curious.
The bad thing is that there's an AI just taking over my body.
Well, that's fine. You're not gonna live it, so who cares?
Yeah, but then enough. I'm gonna get blamed for any shit that.
But you're not.
Again, you're not conscious that it's happening, so who cares?
But what if they put me in jail and then STEM is like, I'm done, I'm turning off, and then wakes me up?
I'll die.
And
I don't know.
I'm in jail and I'm like out of my perfect scenario life.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I also don't see STEM
how would he
hopping
get in a
out
different body?
He's like physically placed against his neural network.
Yeah.
He
can't
could
just
probably
get
make
out.
a new chip and then just transfer his software
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
and then turn
fucked
off
up.
remotely.
You'd have to hope he doesn't do that.
Come on, Stim. Have a heart. You work so hard for that body. Anyways, I was just curious.
Yeah. Well, that's this movie.
Yep. It's a movie.
You can follow me at Not a Credit Card and everything.
You can get me at Save Our Shaggy. That's a Scooby-Doo reference on everything.
You can find me at Midsummer Queen on Twitter and Letterboxd.
And you can follow the show at Tipsy Terror on Twitter, tipsyterrorpod@gmail.com, tipsyterror.com, tipsyterror.rap, tipsyterror.wtf, tipsyterror.pub.
Pub.
And that's it. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.